Such a funny name for a team affiliated with the city. So anyway, kind of like the LA Lakers, the Utah Jazz doesn't seem that right. Not politically correct, but it just doesn't seem right or plausible, if you fucking will. So anyway, the Utah Jazz started life as the New Orleans Jazz in the 1970s, when New Orleans got themselves a basketball expansion team. And yes, there was a team in New Orleans not named the Pelicans. Thank you very much. So anyway, the New Orleans Jazz weren't really that well taken care of with playoff standings and all that, but they had one main star. That was good old Pistol Pete Maravich, who was a legend until his untimely passing in 1988 at the age of 40. So anyway, Pistol Pete helped the New Orleans Jazz do well. Unfortunately, it didn't save them from the box office that basically New Orleans just couldn't like get tickets sold for anything. So anyway, a new guy decided to right the ship and send the team to Utah. Kind of weird seeing Utah with pro sports because Utah is a kind of a Mormon state and all that. What do they care about sports? So anyway, the Utah Jazz was born in 1979. Strange how they kept the nickname Jazz. So anyway, Utah built on and added some key pieces like Mark Eden, Felton Spencer, and of course the two big names, John Stockton and Karl Malone, within a year of each other. These guys were just played out scary, and they proved themselves to be scary. In the early 90s, they were decent. They were the team that you didn't think would get there, but got through a lot. In 1994, the Utah Jazz were almost victimized by a controversial clock call that basically the hometown fan, no, sorry, Utah thought they had pulled one over when home the home guy didn't start the clock till way after the Utah Jazz had possession of the ball. But it didn't work as Houston beat those Jazz. Like, anyway, so the Utah Jazz plodded along. After 1995, they decided to change their outfit from a jazz note to basically having mountains with their nickname because the mountains of Utah. And it seemed to work. The scheme worked. As John Stockton famously floated a three-pointer at the buzzer in Game 6 of the Western Finals in 97 to send Jazz to their first ever NBA Finals. Although they would be victimized by two buzzer beaters of their own, Steve Kerr and MJ. The Jazz didn't really take it too much on the chin. They said they would be back, and they were. In 98, they came back as good as ever. Unfortunately, though, Game 6 was their downfall. They had a chance to put the game away and force a Game 7, but unfortunately, MJ and crew stopped it. And basically, MJ had the best one-on-one moment with Byron Russell in a long time, and MJ scored the bucket, his last in a Bulls jersey. Jazz would not be too pleased, especially with their playoff experience not doing so hot. So anyway, the Jazz have come of age. Darren Williams was a good player until he went to the Nets. But they now have a few key players, Humphreys and Donovan Mitchell. So Donovan Mitchell could be a famous star. So anyway, the Utah Jazz. Let's talk about the 1995 Utah Jazz for my what if. Well, the Utah Jazz were the 3 seed in the Western Conference and had to deal with a Houston team that was looking to go back to back. But of course, it didn't look good on paper. But the Jazz were the first of Houston's four attacks on convention and for Houston to win their second straight title. So the what if is obvious that we'll be doing the 95 series, but the Jazz beat the Rockets. Now the Jazz will be in the second round against the Phoenix Suns, the team that we talked about, the 95 Suns, but now they'll have to deal with the Jazz. So it's Jazz and Suns from 95. Orlando is automatically in the finals. Because if we talk about one conference, we can't burn the other conference. So, yeah, that's how we will start this thing, baby. The 95 Jazz and the 95 Suns. Now, note that the Suns may have one fewer win than the Jazz, but the Suns won the division. won their division. So practically they got the 2 seed. So anyway, the Jazz beat the Suns 193. Karl Malone with 31. Stockton with only 9 points, but 13 assists. 16 from Jeff Hornacek. 15 from Felton Spencer. 8 from David Benoit. M. Keefe, Blue Edwards, Walter Bond, John Crotty, James Donaldson, and Jamie Watson were the bench players. Blue Edwards would then, of course, go to the Grizzlies. 21 from Barkley, KJ with 12. So yeah, you got Marley, KJ, Barkley, Manny, and Age being your front five. Wesley Person played 21 minutes off the bench. Elliot Perry, AC Green, that guy, yep. Joe Klein from Arkansas, Danny Shays, and Trevor Ruffin. Game 2 sees the Jazz crush the Suns 125-109. 21 from Hornacek, 16 from Walter Bond. Walter Bond, man, 60 points in 13 minutes. That's amazing. So Byron Russell, Jay Humphries, Tom Chambers. I guess his former team, the Suns, that helped him out. And Antoine Carr were added into the roster for 95. The Suns had 25 from Barkley, 16 from KJ, 13 from Trevor. Put in 11 minutes. Danny Shays, no points in 10 minutes. Yikes. Richard Dumas, Antonio Lane, and Wayman Tisdale. Well, Tisdale and Lane, great scores for Oklahoma and Duke, respectively. And Richard Dumas were added to the roster. Utah up 2-zip. And they crushed the Suns 110-92 on home turf. 20 from Barkley and 17 from Manning were decent, but they weren't good enough. As it took 26 from Karl Malone, 22 from David Benoit, wow, and 20 from John Stockton to sink them. Blue Edwards had 10 points off the bench. That's not half bad. Todd Travers even had a bucket. Well, we know who's going to win this one. Well, not yet. It's Phoenix, 101-97. Barkley with 24, Marley with 16, KJ with 15. And then it was Karl Malone with 29, Stockton with 16. So, yeah, the Jazz, it's not over, but they'll have to go to Phoenix and win one game. They do. 102-100. So the Jazz will go 3-0 against the Suns in Phoenix. 34 from Karl Malone, 15 from David Benoit. 22 from KJ, 20 from Barkley. Well, the Suns are fucked. So now the Jazz will now take on the San Antonio Spurs, who went to the NBA semifinals. They were the team that the Rockets took down. Yeah, I know the Rockets won back-to-back titles, so, you know. So the Spurs 62 wins that year against the Utah Jazz. So, yeah, it was close. 62 wins for the Spurs, and they didn't win the title. Amazing how good Houston was that year. Game 1 saw the Spurs crush the Jazz hopes, 112-100. Even though Carmelo had 24 and Adam Keefe had 16 off the bench. The Spurs, 27 from David Robinson, 24 from Sean Elliott. Avery Johnson, Dennis Rodman. Surprise. People forget he played for the Spurs before the Bulls. And Vinny Del Granegro. Doug Rivers played on the 95 team. I guess he was Spurs then Magic. Wow. Terry Cummings, Willie Anderson, Chuck Person, former Indiana star player and from Auburn. J.R. Reed, UNLV, I think. Corey Crowder, Chris Whitney, Moses Malone, the ageless one. Jack Haley, and Howard Isley. Great job. Game 2 saw the Spurs score only 8 points in one quarter, the third quarter, and the Jazz won 82-67. Wow. 16 from David Benoit, Hornacek, and Malone, each with 13. On the other side, only 2 people in double digits, Sean and David. Well, that being Elliott and Robinson. Vinny Del Negro only had 9 points. Terry Cummings in 12 minutes did not score one freaking bucket. Over. Game 3 saw the Jazz win narrowly, 94-92. The final minutes, it was 94-92. It was 94-92 since David Benwell's free throw. Negro missed a chance. David Robinson had a chance for a bucket, but Jeff Hornacek intercepted the pass. Dennis Rodman gets a rebound. Felton Spencer. This is one for Robinson. They foul Sean Elliott. They foul Carl Malone. He misses both. David Robinson has a chance, but he misses a jumper. So the Jazz win 94-92. 19 from Robinson, 19 from Del Negro. Jerry Reed had 9 points. 27 from Carl Malone, 15 from Hornacek. Game 4. So the Spurs lose again, 95-91. The Jazz likes to win. Close games. 27 from David, 12 from Avery. Corey Crowder. 22 from Carl Malone, 15 from Spencer, 14 from Hornacek. John Crotty got 13 points. Jamie Watson. Utah up 3-1. And the Spurs come roaring back 107-81. 18 points from Hornacek. Tom Chambers there. 25 from David Robinson, 16 from Elliott. Avery, double digits with Rodman. Nice. 3-2 for the Jazz. And the Spurs lose to the Jazz, 109-104. So the Jazz are going to the NBA Finals against the Magic. 27 from David Robinson, 22 from Elliott. Montenegro 13. Not much help other than that. 4 points from Avery Johnson, 38 minutes. Yikes. 22 from Carl Malone. Stockton 15 assists. Hornacek 17 points. Lou Edwards 10 points off the bench. Yeah, the bench helped Utah. The bench mafia. And now they'll take on the Orlando Magic. '95. We won 57 games, so Utah got home court. This one, Donald Roy on my ass. It's got to be Dennis Scott. Game 1 sees the Magic win 121-114. 24 from Penny, 23 from Shaq, 20 from Horace Grant. Nick Anderson, Dennis Scott. So they're Donald Roy, 11 points in 22 minutes. Anthony Bowie, 9 points in 13 minutes. Anthony Evans, 4 points in 13 minutes. Brooks Thompson, Brian Shaw, Gert Hemming, Daryl Armstrong. Not a bad move for this team, but now you got yourself the Utah Jazz, Malone, Stockton, Hornacek, and the bunch. See, they're fantastic job. On to game number 2. Utah wins 109-100, so they've got a 2-0 lead on the Magic. Great job by the Magic. Sorry, 1-1, pardon. And so the Jazz trying to move up. Karl Malone, the hero of the game. So let's switcheroo, because remember we have to switch. It's game 3. And we got ourselves a win for the Magic. Sorry, for the Jazz, 106-100. So the Utah Jazz have a 2-1 series lead at this point. It's kind of creepy if you ask me. See you there. And that looks good. So on to game 4. Jazz and Magic. And Magic crushing the Jazz by 34, 113-79. So 19 from Malone, 13 from Stockton, 10 from Hornacek. They really set Spencer and Benwell. They had to dump off the whole bench. Blue Edwards, future Grizzly, Adam Keefe, James Donaldson. I think he played for the 89 Pistons. I don't know. Walter Bond, John Crotty, Jamie Watson, Tom Chambers, the former Sun superstar. Oh, yeah, I said that with the Jazz, I guess. Antoine Carr, Jay Humphries, Byron Russell. Byron Russell wasn't the guy. 95 Magic, of course. 28 from Shaq, 22 from Grant. Don Rolla didn't do that badly. With Anthony Bowie, Anthony Abbott, the legendary Tree Rollins, Brian Shaw, who became a Laker. One of these things. Brooks Thompson, Jeff Turner, Daryl Armstrong, Gert Hammock, and Keith Tower. So at 2-2, remember this is 2-3-2, so game 5 is at Orlando. And the Magic win 101-95. So the Magic are up 3-2. Hornacek with 22, Malone with 20, Stock with 16. Otherwise, it was terrible. But 31 for Mr. Shaq and 21 for Dennis Scott. Not bad. Donald Royal played 21 minutes without scoring a point. But Orlando's bench is why they're doing it. Game 6. Sees the Utah Jazz. Sure. Shut up. They're like, what? I thought we won. Nope. No, sir. 117-107. Orlando comes back from 2-1 deficit to win it in 6 games. Horace and Shaq go off on everybody. Brooks Thompson, 6 points off the bench in 7 minutes. Walter Bond had 11 points off the bench for Utah in 13 minutes. Outscored Felton Spencer. Stockton Malone did fine, but Shaq was just the guy. Shaq daddy indeed. I feel bad for the Utah Jazz and all that. You know, I always want a team to win their what if and, you know, stick it to the man. But no, they didn't stick it to anyone except themselves.